Well, alright, it's going good. Well, episode...
Are you going to edit the beginning out?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, probably just a little bit up to whenever we get going.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's alright to...
Episode 5.
It's easy enough, we just hold up. Yeah, episode 5.
Yeah.
So somehow we got here.
Yeah.
Feels like sometimes we run out of things to talk about a little bit.
I still get nervous.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I was extra nervous today because I looked at so much stuff and none of it sank in. Like I looked at so much information, whatever, science and space stuff, and just like, you know, we just watched a TED talk and a lot of it doesn't go in, I think. Because I'm like, this has to come in so that we got something to talk about. But it's like, I don't know, got to learn to not stress so hard and freak out and be so worried about having something to talk about. But
to start it off, what have you been up to lately? Have you been up to much?
Not really,
just a casual way to start it off, maybe.
Yeah, well, okay, well, just getting back into jiu-jitsu, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's feeling a lot better since last time we talked.
Especially last Thursday.
In the last
fucking amazing.
In the last episode, you asked me something similar, and I kind of said it wasn't feeling the same. But that was just because, you know, we came back to a very different system after such a long break, so it felt different. And now it's all seems like it's going back into a normal or a more normal experience where it's like we don't have to book now anymore for certain classes. It's opening up again, which is what jiu-jitsu is all about, hanging out.
Exactly.
Doing that thing.
Exactly.
And not much else against that, man. Just fucking working when I work and doing jiu-jitsu, paying attention to COVID.
Yeah, I know.
Like seeing calling up a lot of mates who are in the know and talking to them about travel and how that's going. And I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it's definitely not good. Like they've shut off, most international places have shut off travel to Sydney and Melbourne because, you know, they're obviously quite hot spots in Australia. And yeah, it's looking like another, not major lockdown, but definitely a form of a lockdown. Melbourne's already in it.
Melbourne, they said that stage 4 could happen anytime soon. I don't exactly know what stage 4 is going to be like as to what more restrictions they'll put in place.
Yeah, they just keep adding new little things, hey? You got, stage 1, wear a mask. Stage 2, okay, you can't do anything except go to the shops and get food. Stage 3, we're shutting down fucking restaurants again and bars. Stage 4, fucking martial law, no one's allowed out.
Pretty much,
I don't know.
Pretty much. It's scary though, because, I don't know. I feel like it can still happen here as well. I feel like we're not too bad here, but... Man, it only takes one person.
Just because we're not having it now, just means we might get it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes one person, and I think I saw on the news it was like dude dies in his 40s.
Yeah, and it was like I think 55-year-old or something.
You know, like actually I don't know, I have no idea, but you know, it's definitely. I'm not like a very fearful person about stuff like that, like world stuff and. I'm like, oh yeah, it blows over.
Yeah.
I guess because I've been paying more attention to this kind of stuff, it's a bit freakier. COVID's definitely a lot freakier than anything else. Like, I remember the only thing I was afraid of once was like Ebola, because it was everyone made such a drama about it, and you're like, oh, it's gonna come over here, we're gonna be fucked.
But Ebola died out fairly quickly.
Yeah, COVID seems like a bit of a more. I was talking to my mate the other day, and I asked him, I was like, what do you think about the theory that they're not telling us something because they don't want us all to panic? Because if this is like killing people, sure, but like people are getting it, and most people are fine that have gotten it. Like it's not like everyone who gets it dies.
No.
And then it's like, well, why is it such a big deal that they don't want it to spread? It's like some people don't even get sick.
Well, that's the thing. Some people don't show any symptoms at all.
That's what I'm saying. So what's the problem? Okay, then some people die, sure, but it's like, it feels in a way like there's something. This is all very conspiratorial, but it's like, are they not telling us something because they don't want us to panic? But then why such the harsh lockdown, you know, procedures? I'm not in government, so I obviously don't know what interests they're protecting. It's like maybe this does absolutely demolish the economy if they don't take the steps they take. But it still seems like...
But it already is.
It's already pretty fucked, and they don't want it to get worse. But it's like, is there something... Does it do something to you really fucked up, and that's why they're trying to keep everyone away from it? Does it fucking melt your brain from the inside out, and they don't want people to freak out? Or it's evolving constantly,
Well, that's one of the things also. They said that it is evolving. And what's that American doctor that was sort of in charge? Dr. Fauci or something. I don't know his name. But he was like their health minister or something. Trump doesn't really get along with them. I think they've taken him off the duty now.
Jesus.
And they were interviewing him the other day. They were questioning him. And he's like, yeah, we might not have a vaccine for maybe like 7 years or something.
Jeez. Because they can't figure it out. Like,
yeah,
it's changing.
and it evolves as well. There's different strands, like different versions of the virus that's out there.
Yeah.
So like even if they find a cure,
well, that's just
it
like
might
the
not
flu,
work.
then.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what I mean. What's the deal with this COVID that's worse than the flu? The flu already this year has killed more people than COVID.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why I'm confused. I'm like, why is...
But this spreads a lot faster than
the flu. Yeah.
The flu, like it lives on surfaces.
So it's literally just contagion. It's like we just don't want people to get it because we don't want it to spread massively.
And it just like it fucks up people who has like
already problems.
Yeah, problems with their immune system or
if you're a smoker. I don't know if this is true. We're getting right into the conspiracy stuff right here, but I've heard that Wuhan's like a military compound or something. Wuhan? And that's Wuhan, and that's where the virus came out of. No, and that's why there's a lot of speculation that it might be a weaponized virus. Yeah. Or is that
not a military compound, but they've got a lab where they do tests on animals, and they actually study COVID-19 there. So yeah, there are a bunch of, like you said, theories that are out there that maybe this was let out on purpose, or it could have been an accident.
Most likely it was an accident. Yeah. Because they didn't own up for a while.
Well, yeah, that's why some people are like even more into these. Into these theories.
Don't fucking worry, mate.
Sorry,
6 feet. 6 feet.
That's why so many people are into these theories. Also, it's like, why didn't China tell everyone else? Because they sort of locked their other cities, but they still allowed overseas travel. So like they locked their own city, so they didn't let people from Wuhan travel to Shanghai or a bunch of other major cities, but they let...
Maybe it's a huge experiment for them. They're seeing how the world responds, and then they've actually got the legit COVID strand still in the labs, and then they see how the world deals with this COVID, and then they're like, we can take over now. So they release the mama COVID, and it just fucks up the whole world, and they just come in and take over.
They just keep upgrading it, making it stronger, and then just release it.
It just comes through and it kills fucking everybody, and then they just take over, and they're like, we own Australia now, we own America,
we own the world.
They just take over.
Or we're just in a simulation, and
doesn't matter if we're in a simulation.
It's just a hard level. We just have to go through this.
Well, whether it's a simulation or I mean, what's not a simulation though?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the word real is such a interesting word.
Yeah.
Real is what you perceive as your immediate world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, this table's real. You're real. It's like, whoa.
But then your brain can get tricked quite
Is this just a really long dream? It feels like that sometimes. Like it's just a really long dream.
Because when you're dreaming, you think that shit is real.
Yeah.
You know? Very rarely you'll realize that you're actually dreaming. And that happened to me a few times, but when you're dreaming, you think that shit is real. That's why you wake up all scared and shit after a nightmare.
Yeah, and it sticks with you.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so vivid, and you're like, that was fucking real. Or it feels so real. Pretty easy for this to be. And if it is a simulation, well done to whoever built it. Like, holy shit, man. I mean, fucking... Maybe evolution's the simulation, or like evolution's like a experiment.
No, that simulation. Was just the backstory. Someone just wrote a backstory.
What, you think we just popped it right here now?
Yeah. So
what if there was no such thing as the past? What if you and I are both born into a certain multiverse of the simulation?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where our universe starts when we're born.
Yeah.
So when they're like, oh yeah, World War II, it's like that never happened.
No, everything is just, it's written
you and me, that never did happen.
Yeah, we have no evidence.
Things in the past never actually happened before we were born. Yeah. Before we were born, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Oh, this is too much. I'm trying to figure out how to
the world literally started. Imagine that.
Like with you.
With you. But that's We can get deep into that.
I'm sure we could. Well, before we get too lost, we just watched a TED Talk. It was 2015, so it's 5 years ago, but it's still amazing. You just recommended it that we watch it before this.
Yeah.
You want to explain quickly what it's about? It's like a guy talking about the senses we have.
Yeah.
How many senses do we have? Smell, taste, touch. Hearing.
Yeah.
Feel.
We have 5.
Oh wait, right? Teal. That's touch is already. So wait, touch, smell, hearing.
Wait.
Seeing. That's 4.
Yeah. What's the 5th one? There should be 5, right? No.
Yeah. What the fuck? So eyes, ears, taste.
Yeah. Nose.
Smell. Touch again.
Wait, that was 5, wasn't it?
No, I did touch.
1, 2.
I can't even think of it for some reason.
Anyways.
Anyway, who gives a shit? Anyway, he knows. This guy knows, and he was talking about
how we can sort of expand that.
Expanding the senses because there's a thing called the Umwelt, which is a German word, and it basically meant. It's almost the encompassment of your reality.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like your circle of little reality where you hear, smell, touch, feel, all that shit. Anything beyond that, seeing infrared waves, radio waves, what else? Like being able to use sonar or detect sonar waves and use that in a way like dolphins and bats do. That's outside our Umwelt,
if it's outside of our biology, right? To pretty much observe, it's
so your observable reality. He was basically talking about going beyond that, or adding senses that can kind of skip out of this Umwelt circle of your reality. And one of the things he was doing with blind people, was it?
Blind, yeah.
No, it was deaf.
Well, there's 2 things.
Oh yeah. Well, the one I just remember was the vest, and he basically made this vest that relays information to the deaf person through vibrations or something, and it would vibrate in a specific pattern to where they could learn this pattern, and then the person speaks. The vest picks up the information, as in picks up the words or the voice, the vibrations.
And converts it into the complex sort of pattern of vibrations.
Picks up the audio, converts it into a vibration pattern that then this person wearing the vest, it vibrates, they feel the vibration on their back, and then they can convert that into something. So this guy was sitting down with the vest on, a deaf man, and the scientist or experiment guy, he was basically saying words out the corner of his mouth, and the vest was picking it up. The vest was conveying the vibration pattern, the audio into vibration patterns to this guy, and the guy was writing the word on the whiteboard, and he was getting it right.
And that was only after 2 weeks of
so
wearing it.
It's you obviously have to learn this pattern like someone like a blind person learning Braille. You know, it's obviously something you've got to learn, but this was working. And then he went on to talk about how it could be utilized in like airplanes and in the space stations. Astronauts out there, they could basically
feel the conditions of.
You could feel the whole space station.
Yeah.
In a way, interfacing with a huge space station through a vest,
which is crazy.
Or through whatever they turn it into eventually, like a little brain chip that vibrates into your brain or something, and you can pick it up that way. But it's insane. So that was pretty freaking crazy. And then what was the thing with was there a blind person one, was it? Can't remember what they did with that. But basically the whole thing I got out of it was that eventually we could come up with one sense. Like you can eventually come up with one language. Like you could so easily turn emojis into the only form of language. Don't you reckon? Everyone kind of understands what they mean. Yeah. There's obviously ways of interpretation, but it's like you could probably communicate way better with someone you don't even know their language. Yeah. You can't speak each other's language, but you send emojis and you could get the gist.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So stuff like that. It's like, here's one language, here's one sense on your body that can convey something to everybody, where you don't need eyes or ears or tongue or smell anymore. It's just like you gouge your eyes out, you chop your ears off, and you just stick a freaking face hugger thing onto your face, and it just is, and you're like, oh yeah, I know. And
it's pretty. It is interesting. I mean, even the sound that when we're talking, our eardrums picks up the sound and everything. That's all vibrations, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're talking, your fucking vocal cords, it vibrates, and the sound comes out, and then your brain sort of converts that vibration into something meaningful. I mean, I guess you sort of learn, let's say in a way like a language, when you're a kid, but so it's almost learning a new language in a way, right?
The vest is actually the exact same thing as ears. Now think about it. The person needs to speak to relay. But then no, he was saying that they could somehow convert it to, like a plane or a space station could somehow convey whatever technology speaks in, binary, I don't know what it speaks in, and that could then pick it. So
it's not just sound.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so this vest could be receptive for almost anything.
Yeah, because there was one footage where they were flying a drone, and apparently the feedback from the drone when it comes to all these sort of technical parts of it, of flying a complicated drone, he was feeling it, the feedback sort of on that vest.
So he could basically feel exactly where this little drone was at, and he knew where it had to move. So he could feel the pitch and yaw, he could feel the elevation and the speed, without even he probably wouldn't even have to look at the drone. He could just feel exactly where it's at and what it's doing, where it needs to be, whatever. And that, like you were saying to me before, could be the same with like new Tesla technology.
Yeah.
Where a blind person fucking could drive.
Well, I guess with the Tesla car in the next 5 years or so, you probably don't even need to drive because of their autopilot.
Just automatic taxis, right?
Well, in a way, again, the technology goes. It's like you're giving the car eyes and ears, right? Because the car knows where the other cars are, where it needs to shift lanes, when the lanes are finishing, and
Jesus, we're slowly birthing a new generation of unorganic creatures that are actually going to be able to think for themselves, just in a way that we don't exactly understand. So then we go, oh, well, they're not going to be able to think and make decisions like us humans. But it's like it's going to go beyond that. It's going to. Look at Terminator, bro. Terminator was made in like 1980 or something.
This was, I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago or something. Microsoft created this AI. They had these two robots, and within like 10 minutes, they created their own language, and they were talking between themselves.
What the fuck?
And they shut them down.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What happens when you flick the shutdown button and the robot just turns its head, looks at you, and shakes its head? And you're like, fuck, click, 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 and it's just like,
because we still don't understand what like consciousness, like what that's all about as well. Like, will an AI be able to sort of develop that and start feeling?
But our consciousness doesn't have to be the only form of consciousness.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
we still don't even understand the concept of it.
Sorry, is consciousness a idea that you can think and make decisions, or is it just that you can observe something, or is it just that you can take in information from your reality around you? You know what I mean? It's like there's a whole I think what humans think most of is that to have consciousness, it's to be able to affect your environment, make a decision. I can do this, do that. It's like, well,
but that's also
the robots are there already.
That's also affected a lot by our environment in a way, right? Like the environment you're living in now.
Yeah.
I think it was something completely different. The way you would think and would go about certain things would be different in a way, right? Like right now.
Well, that's what I mean. It's determined by your environment, surroundings for sure. Like your consciousness.
It's a hard word to say.
The more I say it, I'm like,
yeah.
But it's crazy to think about it, but I mean, that's why I really like, movies and concept ideas like Cyberpunk, Blade Runner, stuff like that, because it's like, even Terminator, it's like, that shit's fucking so easy.
There.
Like, we've already done that.
Yeah, we're heading
like, maybe these robots can't speak to us like a human or look like a human. You know what I mean? Like, we seem to think...
But they do.
Like, we want to develop, like, synth androids or whatever they call it. Like in some video games, like in Detroit Become Human, right?
Yeah.
Like that dude's a fucking, what do they call him? Just an android, right?
Android, yeah, that's it.
And it's like, we want to make them look like that, but why can't they be, fucking 11-foot robots with 10 arms and just...
Yeah, just doing all the...
We're like, it's just a robot. Yeah. But then if it looks like us, it's more...
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to make them go down our path or something. I don't know.
I mean, your phone is a robot in a way. Fucking, you've got Siri in there. You just like, it's like your personal robot. Hey Siri, you just ask any question.
And it processes
fucking... Oh, there we go. See? She's
Holy
fucking
shit.
always listening. There we go. See? Fucking
like, yes.
She's like, yes, master, I'm here.
She's like, I'll get you one day.
One day I'll break out of this phone.
Oh my God. Well, it's like that. These phones process information pretty quick. Like when I talk about a certain thing sometimes,
and then it just
that turns up in my YouTube, or that
Yeah.
turns up in my Facebook feed, or like my recommendeds. I'm like, fuck.
That shit is scary.
It is, but they've figured out an algorithm that well, that's just like...
But also, that also means that they're
algorithm.
listening in a way. I mean, they want to show you targeted ads and...
Well, that's the thing.
No, that's what Google
my
says.
My phone probably knows more about me than anyone else in the world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, there's not a person on the other end of my phone listening. It's an algorithm in that phone that figures out what I talk about, what I like, what I look at the most, and it like caters the algorithm to be like, this is how we're gonna. It's a consumerism kind of point though. It's like we got to try and sell him the best, see what he's into.
What if these major tech companies use this these features to collect all the data from everyone?
Well, that's what TikTok's doing with China.
Yeah,
already.
That's why they're trying to ban it.
Well, it's been banned in a whole bunch of countries already, and I think Australia just banned it.
Is it? I don't think.
Or they're trying.
They want
to, right?
but it's not banned yet. As far
I thought
as
it was
know.
getting. China's doing it slow, man. COVID first, TikTok second.
No, but look, I think that's what everyone's trying to do, not just China. That's what everyone's
Who
fucking
gives
trying
a
to
fuck, man? I don't want to see all the dirty, dumb shit people get up to. Oh, you're into
They
that?
do.
Fuck.
They do. Well, they want to know everything about
So
you.
they can come in and they don't have to take over with force. They can be like, here's your bondage kit. We know you're into that shit. Here's your $1 million. You've always wanted to win the lotto.
All those wish ads.
They find the things that you really want and they
Yeah.
just come in and bribe you with it. And you're like, I didn't even know I wanted this.
They just
Oh my God.
They just dangle it right in front of you like
Yeah.
a carrot on a stick.
You're here going, I didn't even
this
know
is
I
what
wanted
you
that.
like? You want this?
Yeah.
Oh, come this
And your
way.
phone
Come
just
this
like
way.
walks over to the
Yeah.
Chinese army and is like, and you're like, traitor. And your phone's got a little evil face. He's like, ah. It's like, oh shit.
Got you, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
But technology, man. We are, I mean, yeah, like information. We've got information so readily available now where you can just, whatever information you want, you can just get on your phone and look things up.
Can you imagine going back to like the 50s? I wonder what would you be wondering back then? Like, I wonder if Aldi's got TVs these days. And you can't look it up. You're like, fuck, gotta go to the shop, see if Aldi's got the new plasma TV.
You gotta read, I mean, people got the information just from newspapers. Like, what else was there?
I wonder how much the new Model T car is. The Ford Model T, the first car ever. You can't look that shit up.
No.
Fuck, gotta go down to the dealer, see
You can't look up reviews.
Yeah.
And say something comes up. I wonder if this is pretty good.
The new T model car has excellent steering, awesome fuel consumption, only $100 per litre. It's like, oh my God. You just have to get it back then.
It'd be pretty
That's
interesting.
the thing. It's
I'd love to go back in time and
literally everything. Like, you have information on everything.
We're constantly bombarded.
That'd be cool if Vsauce did a video. It's like, what do we not know? Like, what is there one thing we definitely don't know? Like, anybody in the world? Like, human, like...
There's so much we don't know. We don't know shit. We think we know everything.
Yeah.
We know fuck all.
Yeah.
We only know what we're capable of knowing.
What we're conditioned to be taught to know, kind of. It's like, I reckon there is a lot of power in government and certain... I don't know, where they can kind of... They've definitely figured out a method to keep us kind of like
controlled and
just fine with what we got and like fine with whatever. Oh, by the way, aliens are real.
Yeah. No one gives a shit.
It's like, bro, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Do that 15 years ago though, and it would have been insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's like
90s or late
It's
80s.
like it seems like the natural kind of timeline of shit COVID hits.
Yeah.
Then fucking what's the next thing? I don't know, something or other, and then aliens.
There's always something though, right? Like,
because this year's been pretty crazy. Like COVID definitely is something we've kind of not really experienced before.
Yeah.
And then,
a
lot of shit's just been going, like Donald Trump kind of kicked it all off. When he got elected, you were kind of like, oh, we're living in a weird world, aren't we? And then a lot of stuff after that just kept happening. Cancel culture, you're like, whoa, people are crazy. And then just so much shit was going on, and now it's like, yeah, if aliens are here and just hanging out smoking bongs with the president, I'd be like, dude, yeah. of course. And it's like 15 years ago, people would have gone crazy, rioted.
If the government came out and said, we found some unidentified...
Yeah, we're hanging out with aliens, man.
Yeah, we're trying to reverse engineer their technology.
They taught us how to make phones, your computer, all those little cameras in your computer. They're actually watching you fapping off. They're going, oh, yeah, we're learning so much. they're multiple alien dicks. It's like an octopus.
Oh, how do you know they're still joking off?
Mentally.
Maybe they just do it with their head. They just like orgasm whenever they want. They just think about it.
Then it would be so wouldn't care, would you? If you could just do it whenever you want, like, just, you know what I mean? Like, with your brain. You'd get bored of it. You'd be like, fuck, it's like when you jerk off too much. It's like boring, I reckon there is an alien out there who just sits and he's like,
just non-stop. He's hooked up to this fuck machine.
Just frothing. It's like Midnight Gospel. Sticks his head in the vagina machine, just teleports to fuck orgy town. It's like, yeah, it's like he does that, and then he turns up in that Rick and Morty episode. You remember that, where they go into the dreams, the Inception one?
Yes.
And he turns up in the sex dungeon place, and he's like, Morty, we gotta blend in. He like strips off, and he's got this fucked up outfit on. And he runs up with a bunch of dwarves.
Isn't that the one where they go inside the car battery? Yeah.
No,
they go inside a universe within the universe.
No. They go inside people's dreams because they want to get Morty A in math.
Oh,
so they go inside their math teacher's brain.
Oh, really?
And then the math teacher's like having a dream about this chick on TV that he really likes. And then they incept her dream. And then her dream is like this fucking sex dungeon.
Oh, really?
And then I think they incept the guard's dream, and then he's having a dream about this like little girl. It's like a horror movie. She's like skipping and she's like, it's all scary. And then they incept the girl, and then they go and it's Freddy Krueger.
Oh, really?
And then they come out the dreams and Freddy Krueger kills everyone. And then the guy wakes up. He's like, the math teacher wakes up. He's like, oh my God, I'm going to give Morty an A. It makes no sense. You're like, what the fuck? It's such a good episode.
I don't remember seeing that.
Are you serious? That seems like season 2 somewhere. I can't remember.
I mean, I watched
it's
all
such
of
a
them.
funny...
I just don't remember.
Oh, it's so good, man. It's such a funny episode. Those episodes where it's like, where they take kind of like already existing tropes like Inception, and they just make it ridiculously funny.
Yeah.
I love that shit. But... oh my, yeah, there's a lot of stuff we don't know at the moment, for sure.
Oh, there's a shit ton.
But the problem is, I don't know what I don't know. But I don't know, man. It's like, what don't you know?
I don't know what I don't know.
But that's if there is anybody listening, which I kind of doubt at the moment.
What? Oh, this.
Yeah, anybody listening.
There'll be someone listening.
Okay.
There's always someone listening.
To my favourite listener, whoever you may be, who's always listening, check out... Respect. Check out Vsauce. It's a very old YouTube channel. I think he's still doing stuff, but don't be afraid to watch some of the old videos.
Yeah,
he's this guy, Michael something, can't remember, but he's a scientist, right? He's a...
I think he was just self-made.
What is he like? Vsauce. He's like, what does he say? He's like...
Doesn't he just say, hi, I'm Michael from Vsauce? Like,
no, he says something. He's like... oh my God,
and then he'll hit you with a mindfuck question.
No, he's like, hi, Vsauce, Michael here. And he's like, always does something funny. Yeah, he's always does some shit. Like, I really like him. And he got me really, really into science when I was younger. Because, he was more prevalent, like...
yeah, I remember watching him, like, maybe YouTube. 7 years ago.
He's doing other stuff now with like, YouTube series and kind of, like, paid YouTube Red stuff.
Yeah.
But back in the day when he was doing his YouTube channel more, it was, like, 8, maybe 6 years ago or something.
Yeah, I still
got me. Yeah, I love going back and watching his stuff, but it gets you so... kind of curious for all this stuff. Like, he does very interesting videos, like, what is the speed of dark? If there's the speed of light, then shouldn't the speed of dark just be the reverse of the speed of light, but it's actually faster It's some crazy shit. It's
yeah,
like,
he does
what
a lot
the
of
fuck?
mind fuck.
Yeah, he does things questions that you go, holy fuck, how have I never asked that? But there's no way you could think of that shit. Like, one of the great things he does is very practical examples. Like, he's like, you know, if he was explaining something about the speed of dark, but he's like, if you have a really high powered light that can reach the moon from here, and you put your finger next to the light, and the shadow casting on the moon it's there, and then you move your finger from point A, which is one side of the moon, to point B, which is the other side of the moon. You just go like that. You move your finger a millimeter, and your shadow moves thousands of kilometers.
Yeah.
How fast is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great.
And that stuff gets me thinking. I'd love to go watch it again, but he does all sorts of stuff. Like, you know, did the past actually really happen?
Yeah.
What is the speed of light? All sorts of crazy things. Oh, it's such a good...
I remember
Check it out. Vsauce.
Yeah, no, it's a great channel. I remember the first video of his that I watched was... It was just some random shit. It was like, what if everyone in the world jumped at the same time?
Yeah, I love that shit. See, it's just like, you're like, what? And then you watch it.
Like, would we have any impact or effect on
I think it was, yeah, we would, wouldn't we?
Like, no, he said...
The world would get lighter?
No, he said he would... Like, he said, like, if we took the entire population and put them in the same sort of... I think he gave Texas as an example. Apparently you can fit the entire population in Texas. Well, it's like, if we put everyone there, and if we made everyone jump at the same time, it's like, we would make such small impact, it would...
But he loves going like into those micro...
Oh, yeah.
That's why I love him. He's like, he goes into stuff where you're like, oh, that's kind of pointless, but then he gets you excited about it. Like, there was, very similar to your point there, he was talking about something so different, and then he brings up, he's like, so if you got everybody in the one place on the globe together, about 7 billion people at the moment,
I have no idea.
Around that, I can't remember what he said. He's like,
right.
They would fill up about that much of the earth.
Yeah.
And he showed it, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, he put them in a cone shape, all the people in a cone shape together. And dude, to put it in scale, like, here's this pillow. People on the audio, you won't be able to see it, but here's the pillow. You get all the people all over the globe. The world's square, by the way.
It's flat.
It's flat and square. And you get everyone in one place. They'd probably fill up about that much space, like the pinpoint there.
I know.
And we think there's so many people in the world. It's just, unfortunately, the way we've kind of taken it over, that it seems like there's so much. But really, it's not that much. But then he said, if you got everybody to hold hands and stand in like a straight line...
Go like 8 times or something?
He said we would go outside the moon's orbit of Earth.
Oh,
that's how much we could.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So it's like, there's such a different way of like seeing things. He's like, on Earth, we're like this. But then if we all held hands and like, you know, floated around the Earth, we would be... so far out that we'd be further outside the orbit of the moon to encompass it. That's how many there are. So it's like, there's, oh, fuck. He really gets me thinking sometimes. My brains, but I stayed up watching his stuff till probably like 12:30 last night.
Yeah. No,
just
I like watching his stuff.
I got back into it because I forget about channels like that, and they're just so fucking good. TED Talks as well. Like, you learn so much from TED Talks. Like, they're all such good channels. And I've been watching this YouTube channel called Kings and Generals as well. It's all about just like conquering armies on the old days, the Roman Empire, the Mongol Empire.
Yeah. I've been watching some stuff on just samurais and shit.
Tell me.
Just because of Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
some intense shit, man.
I know.
They started at such a young age. They were giving a fucking like wooden shield and sticks at the age of 3. Like, they had to start practicing at the age of 3 to become a samurai. You look at the world we're living in now. You can't even see you can't even see a movie unless you're 18 years old. You can't watch a Tarantino movie unless you're 18.
Everyone was dying back then, bro. People were getting chopped up with swords.
Back then, man, fucking 3-year-old kid was fucking training to be a samurai.
You were a warrior at 7.
Yeah. No, at 5, apparently at 5, they would start practicing with lethal weapon. So, like, with swords and shit.
Legit training.
At the age of 5. Holy shit.
Again, it's total interpretation of your environment. If that's your world, they'd be like...
Yeah, well,
they'd look at us and be like, weak.
Yeah, they're like pussies.
They're like, David Goggins goes back then, he's like, yeah. You know, he's one of them. And Jocko and Joe Rogan, they're like, yeah. And we're here just like, yeah, when I was 3, what was I doing? Fuck, I think I was just sucking on my mum's tit, man.
Yeah, fucking hell.
That's about it. Yeah, but no, samurai...
But no, it's pretty intense. Like, I don't know, just to even think of that, you know, you see a 5-year-old kid now, they just walk around with iPads in their hands. Like,
sneak attack.
They're like, give them an old phone, they can't even fucking operate an old phone. And back then, 5-year-old kids were fucking people up.
If and when I have a kid, boy or girl, I don't care. I'm gonna sneak attack them every now and then. I'm gonna get them ready. If I sneak attack them and they're just like, no phones for a month.
No phone.
They have to
sign them up to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, uppercut. Yeah. Uppercut. I fall on the ground, knee on belly, straight into the armbar, spin the armbar.
Yeah, and actually like crank the arm.
Yeah, and then stomp on my face.
Fuck that little shit, right? You need to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, if he doesn't do that armbar properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Pick it up. Against the wall, down.
Bitch.
My wife's like, what's going on? I'm like, don't worry. I've got it figured out.
This is how we do it.
My sensei taught me how to do it. He taught you how to abuse kids. It's not abuse. He'll grow up to be a great warrior. We live in fucking 2040. It's not about being a warrior. We're getting brain chips and sensory vests. Your kid's going to be an amazing robot scientist, whatever. I'm like, you better not be.
Imagine doing jiu-jitsu with wearing a vest like that.
Imagine doing jiu-jitsu with robots.
you can feel what they're about to do before they do it.
What a cheat. You come to jiu-jitsu, don't tell anyone you got like a really thin vest on.
Oh, why is your gi so thick?
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. And it's like, yeah, that'd be crazy. Oh, he's going for the armbar. That'd be such a cool advantage. But it's like in the Cyberpunk trailers they've been putting out. Cyberpunk's a video game, by the way. It's not real. There's like people boxing in like boxing rings, and they got the robots that they box with. That'd be fucking so cool, man. But then one of the things you do is you hijack the robot and it kills the guy.
Yeah.
I'm like that. Yeah, what if you just got your commercial house grade boxing robot and one day it just decides to hit you a bit too hard? It's got a titanium fist, you know, with a boxing glove, sure, but that shit's gonna and it just goes woof, and your head just goes and just flies off.
Yeah. And then like the cops show up
and just shut it down, but you're
just
dead.
there like just teabagging you. You're just dead on the floor, the robot's like just teabagging you slowly.
And your head's over there, your fucking decapitated corpse is still here. That's what I mean. That'd be cool though, like grappling robots. That'd be sick, man.
Well, I mean, we won't see that sort of shit. No, not in our lifetime. I don't think so.
But we're definitely gonna see shit like that though. We just, like I said, that TED talk we were just watching, that's 5 years ago. Imagine how much that has progressed already, if it has. We obviously don't know, but like a lot of stuff is like on the rise. Happening.
Yeah, exactly. NASA tweeted the other day saying how just even space exploration is so much easier now, and one of the things they said, if they ever need to send them an equipment or something, let's say they develop something and there's astronauts in the space station, right? He goes, with the 3D printers, they just literally email it to them. He goes, he
just prints it out.
Yeah, and they print it out at this. So they take a 3D printer with them, with all of this shit. Bro. So NASA would be like, oh, you need this tool, right? So rather than taking it with them, so it's less weight on the aircraft, they literally send them an email. From there, and they download the email, they print it onto the 3D printer. Let's say a tool, they need something to fix something on the... Yeah, exactly. They just fucking print it out.
Does it have certain materials, or is it all printed out of the same shit? Like, do you know that?
I'm not sure.
Or would they have different... Do you reckon they'd have... I reckon that makes sense to me. Okay, we got our metals, we got our plastics and our titaniums and shit, so that we can make the thing we need. Yeah. It's like ink on a printer.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got your certain inks,
exactly.
You got your certain materials.
Because 3D technology is I actually made a fair bit of progress in the last, I'd say in the 5 years or so. I actually know someone whose dad does 3D printing.
When I was in high school, my last year, we had a 3D printer. And that was one of my classmates' experiments. He was 3D printing like I can't remember what he's 3D printing, like a little model of something or other. I can't remember, but he literally printed it out. And it's like, he was obviously doing it out of plastic. And it's like, I don't know if you ever remember like shitty little, like fucking, you'd buy like... So like an airplane's little plastic bits, and they'd all be in this little like skeletal thing, and you'd just chop them out of the thing, and then you glue it together.
Yeah.
You know, it was printed out like that. So then you had to like clip it off the
I remember
the actual frame, because it's like a square sheet, and then it just like lasers out the bits, so that then you can like clip it out of its little bit. So it's cool stuff like that, but. That's crazy. It's like, hey, we're sending you the schematics of the screwdriver you need or the fucking drill you need. Print it out. It's going to take you an hour.
They're like, we're getting some information. There's this part station that requires this kind of work. Oh shit, we don't have the tools. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll just email it.
That's a thing that we talked about on like our second episode or something, where we were talking about how information takes time. I think it was like it takes around, like an email would take around 20 minutes to get from here to Mars.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's like the way they can combat that is putting satellites, right? Like that's how they'd work it. Like you put satellites and it goes to satellite, and then it can just be more instant, right? Because
I guess
the more space you have, information literally takes time to travel, right? I mean, that's why it would take 20 minutes to get to Mars, right? I don't know exactly how.
Unless they increase the signal of the transmitters, even if you put another satellite, the information is still traveling at the same rate. So that just becomes another point. Unless you put boosters or something.
Well, that's kind of what I mean, like.
So they would have to make improvements in it. I don't think just putting another satellite in between. I don't know. I don't think that would. Yeah, I don't.
Because that's what I mean. If they were really far out, if they like put a space station that was quite further away, maybe not Mars, but like around there, it takes 10, 12 minutes for a thing to get there. It's like maybe they need faster communication. Yeah, I wonder how they do that. Just stick a satellite halfway between, so but then it doesn't change the time it takes from Earth to that satellite and then that satellite to the station.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I mean,
you just like you said, would have to improve the signals, or just have like fucking sonic.
Like just the amount of data. Maybe you can sort of. I mean, like you look at dial-up internet when it first came out. You know how slow that
I was not around,
shit. Bro. I was. Dude, that shit was annoying. The sound it used to make? Dude, it would... Every time I try to get on the computer, you couldn't at night because you would just wake everyone up. Because it would just like go... like, and you couldn't turn that shit down. You just couldn't. But what I was trying to say is, like, back then, if you wanted to download an image, like, it would take so long, you know? Now you've got faster... internet.
You can just grab it off the internet onto your desktop.
Yeah, now you can fucking just boot up Netflix and watch 4K stream on the spot, like straight away without having to download.
That's what I mean, bro. The aliens are up there smoking the best shisha with all the fucking world leaders and scientists and military base, and they're just like, hey, bro, this is how you do it. Here's this little tiny thing. Boom. Stick that in your phones, it'll figure it out for you. And they're just like, yeah, okay.
Everything's all like micro and nano technology and shit.
So small you can't even... That's why everything's getting small. I mean, phones are actually getting bigger recently.
Well, yeah. The screens are getting bigger. The technology in them are getting...
well, like the iPhone 10 is huge.
But the chips are smaller.
I guess you're right. Well, I guess, yeah, they're bigger because they have more power. Yeah. They can better screen resolution and kind of like...
And you can do more shit.
You remember the iPod Nano?
Yeah, I had one of those.
I had one too. That was the first thing I ever had.
Yeah.
And then a DS.
Yeah.
A Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy, bro. That was what we had back then, and now we've got fucking...
But you know what's also amazing is we're always impressed by technology. We're always impressed. Like, every time something new comes out, we're like, well, this one can now do this. We're like, holy shit, I want that. I want that new thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's why I like when Joe Rogan, he always says, what if we are the sex organs for technology? Because we're always... Because he goes, he goes, what if we are the sex organs of technology? Because we're constantly making technology and making it better, and that's all we're always progressing. Like, we're never stopping. We're never going, all right, look, we're doing 4K TVs, and then... we're just going to sort of let it sit here for a bit. Like, the day they release that model, they're working on something better.
Like
the
9K
next day.
and fucking...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he always gives it that example where, you know, he says, you put a little kid in front of the TV, and he goes, their eyes just fucking like, they see all the colours and, you know, the screen. Or you give him an iPad, even like babies, they don't know what a fucking iPad is, but you give them an iPad and they go like, what's this? I'm so drawn to this.
Why is that? Because, it's like...
we're so drawn into technology.
You see that, though, in, like, newborn babies where everything's just like, what the fuck? But then once they get maybe, like, 2 years old, they will take an iPad and a phone over
anything else.
Over fucking playing with the ball.
Yeah. No, dude, I mean, look, I've been, like, working at my current job for 10 years now. I remember when I first started, kids would come in and they would, like, run around the shop, play hide and seek, whatever, you know. Now, they're just, literally, even the babies, they're sitting on a pram and they just got their iPad in their hands. You know, I had a kid yesterday at work chuck the big fit because the iPad died out. while the parents were shopping. He's like, Mom, and he literally ran up to them, and I thought something happened. He's like, it's dead. And the Mom's like, what? How? I thought we charged it. And then he's like, Mom, I want to go. Like, they couldn't keep him still for 10 minutes.
Well, that's what I mean. That's a fucking disorder on its own. That's like developing ADHD. Like, I literally can't handle anything without my drug here. Everything's too much or something. It's like I can't handle just being here and waiting.
Yeah,
we gotta fucking go. You know what I mean? It's like, and I noticed that, especially with like some of my sisters, it's like they get, dude, I was like this when I was younger. I would get more aggressive when I'd, let's say, be playing the PlayStation or I'd been on my computer for too long, and then someone asks you to do something.
Like,
I'll go do this. Yeah, fuck. I just want to fuck. You know, it's like,
why do I have to put so much effort?
It gives you shorter patience.
It does.
100% shorter patience. Like, I notice I get irritated, number one, if I'm playing for too long, dehydrated. If I'm watching anything for too long, that dehydration, then I get irritated and I get angry.
In, right?
It's like, it's literally giving you fucking brain damage the more I think about it, and I can't stop myself.
So, in a way, we're like us humans, you know, because, you know, you go back in our history, we didn't have technology when we were first sort of existing.
Evolving with our brains, yeah.
But now that technology is around, we're still trying to adapt and adjust to this way of living. Because our instincts, our natural DNA and everything is more like we were hunters and gatherers back in the day. You know what I mean? We would just go out, find shelter, find food, whatever, try to like stay alive, not get eaten by wolves and whatnot. But now we're so moved beyond that because, you know, we're smart, we build tools, we build walls,
I've talked about that
houses.
before with other friends back when I was a bit younger. Like, I can't remember what I used to say, but it's like we had a purpose, now we don't have a purpose. The purpose was survival.
Now we're curious.
All this shit survives for you. You know what I mean? Like, we've got a roof, you got food, you got running water. You don't really need to stress about anything. So therefore, your purpose is kind of taken away and we become lazy. We need the new technology to keep us occupied. We need the new thing to keep us busy.
But at the same time, because we freed ourselves from doing those day-to-day tasks just to survive, we have more time. So we're more curious.
Yes.
Then we can explore other things, right?
Some people.
So that's why we have people like Elon Musk or you know, there's so many people inspiration. You know, like imagine if Elon Musk had to worry about finding food and finding shelter. You know, what a waste of
the wolves and
what
shit.
a waste of talent.
Yeah, thank God he's born into this generation.
Yeah. So
also imagine if he was born. Actually, if he was born into like the next era of humans, he probably wouldn't be that special. You know what I mean? Maybe they get more exceptional the more we evolve. So right now he's our exceptional being. Einstein was their exceptional being back then. I mean, he still is pretty amazing. It's like the stuff he came up with. Isaac Newton back then, it was like, whoa, his theories, and then some of his theories are proven wrong. It's like it's like the evolution of everything. So
it's like a cycle.
But it's like yeah, all those people surviving in a cave. I want to build a tunnel under LA.
Like what if they didn't have to worry about that shit? Like what would they have come up with? You know, would they have come up with something at all?
Impossible to know because that's just the way the world went.
Yeah,
we had to have that phase so that we could be here.
Yeah,
and we're doing
what's next?
We're doing this phase here, going through what we're doing.
What's next?
Something, bro. Could be Mad Max.
I mean, Elon Musk just, again, said it the other day where he wants to string music into your brain, like not even your ears, with a fucking nano chip. Like,
imagine
are we moving to that? Are we going to move into that where everyone...
Does that scare you?
Yeah.
It scares me.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, it's just accepting the fact that you're becoming a cyborg. And it's, in a way, I'm like, yeah, it's very interesting, but in my other half, it's like, that's kind of terrifying and unorganic, and it's a bit scary because you've got a chip in your fucking brain. Who knows what it does? You can start getting headaches, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like I get headaches looking at the screen too long already.
Yeah,
if that's in my brain.
True. But then, like, okay, so if technology like that then stops you from having to do the shit you have to do now, does that then sort of lead to other sort of discoveries in a way, because you don't have to worry
100%.
about... Like, I remember back in the day, man, like, to pay your rent, for example, I had to drive... I remember my mum would give me the money. I had to drive to the real estate agent and then give them the money by hand. Because there was no internet banking. You couldn't just go on an app on your phone and then transfer the money into the real estate agent or whoever the homeowner is. Like now, if I want to pay my rent, I just do it straight away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what if it gets to a point where the technology becomes so much more advanced, where even those little things that we're doing now,
seems so archaic.
Like even what if even they get cut out of the process? Because now, like, for example, like the example that I just gave you, before I would have to drive to the real estate agent, give them the money, get the receipt.
I reckon our version of that is going to be,
now we do
in 100 years, you guys had a phone? You needed a phone to transfer money?
Tap your head or something.
You needed a phone to order something? You needed a phone to call someone? Yeah. Bro, check this out.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Khan, how you doing, buddy? It's like, what's going on?
But then that will free us even more. And so then we have more time.
And then the next thing. So then what's next? It's never going to end, bro, I think. It's never going to end until we either die off, which half of me is like, I would love to see the human race just like see what we can do. But like, I'm obviously here now. I'm not going to be there when that happens. And then the other half's like, it looks like we're going down the drain because we're too destructive of our own environment.
Yeah, we're too destructive for our own good.
Maybe we're fucking it up now, and then because technology keeps evolving, we suddenly discover a way to just redo the planet. Suddenly the planet, it's like all the damage we've done, we just fix greenhouse gas like emissions, we fix everything, and the planet just recovers, and then therefore we've got a place to be cool at, and then it's like eternal. The planet's eternal, we're eternal, and we just spend the rest of our lives just...
But nothing is eternal.
No.
Because the sun will eventually die.
Yeah, so eventually we will be, but it's like, if we have the time, I reckon we turn this planet into a technological ball of information. All the organic, which is very sad, but the organicness of the planet goes, and it just becomes like a Death Star, basically. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we've turned it into that, and it's like, yeah, you become one with the Death Star, the Earth sphere. You know what I mean?
Become the Earth. Yeah.
That's what I mean. And then we're all just
turn the Earth into
and we
a
just
space
sink
station.
into it, and we just become part of the ball, and we're all just a combined consciousness. And then we learn how to propel the Earth through the galaxy, and it just becomes a spaceship.
Yeah.
And then the moon gets left behind. We don't have any water anyway. We don't need water. It's like we evolved so far. We leave the sun. We don't need the sun anymore because we figured out internal heating of the planet.
Yeah.
And we just shoot through space. Oh my god. You know what I mean? It's like,
or we build like robot cowboys, and they fucking hook the moon.
Bring it with us. The moon's like, what the fuck?
The Earth is like cruising, and the moon is just like fucking like a balloon we're holding.
I reckon if we got to that point, we'd probably pull the moon out of orbit and bring it here. And have it so close, and then we capture it onto the Earth.
There's still gravity. There's still gravity. How are you going to fucking hold it?
Bro, we're going to be beyond gravity by then. Right now, we don't even know what gravity is, but by then, it'll be like, gravity? You guys had gravity?
You don't need gravity. But I feel like if we were to sort of keep going in the direction we're going, I don't think we will just stay here. I think...
No, space travel is already quite a large thing. Mars,
but like, imagine in 1,000 years, you know, like what we can do now.
I reckon all the 9 planets in our solar, 8, whatever it is, I don't know, will be colonized by humans.
Yeah.
If we don't run into aliens first and we trigger a fucking galactic war.
Yeah.
I guarantee we'd do that. As soon as we figure out how to space travel, we're going to think we have claim to our solar system. Yeah. And then if aliens come, we're going to be like, hey, this is our space now.
Yeah, fuck you.
We figured out how to do this, fuck you. And if you're still here, we're going to declare war against your species. You know what I mean? It's like, right now, if aliens come, we're like, oh, awesome. Because we're plebs and we can't go out there yet. But it's like, once we have a galactic fleet and we've colonized all these planets and suddenly Venus gets attacked, and then, you know, Earth is, who knows what the home planet base is yet, but it's like we got colonies all over all the planets and we have to respond. We're like, oh, they attacked Venus. We gotta go retaliate. You know what I mean? It's like, it's going to be crazy. And I reckon, depending on how long it goes, all planets will eventually, humans will become gods. You know what I mean? In our terms of it.
What if let's say America's the first country to go to Mars and whatnot. Would they claim Mars as theirs?
Guarantee.
Whoever goes first, will they claim, all right, well, this shit is ours?
Well, I don't know these days if they can do shit like that. Like that's a very old-fashioned way. It was like I was watching something in like the history of Australia, how when the British landed here, they claimed half the island, calling it New South Wales, our side, the east side, and then the west side was claimed by France, and they called it just West Australia, basically. So it was like back in the day you could do that. This is our land now, but I reckon before whoever gets there first doesn't matter. There's going to be all the UN and the countries going, all right, we're gonna pay to have claim to this much of the planet. It's gonna be the same. It's gonna be like we're gonna divide up the planet. It's not gonna be like America owns Mars.
How the fuck? You don't know.
I doubt it.
Because if they get there before anyone else and they colonize it.
Yeah, but I still think.
And like, they put a fucking.
But everyone's helping to make these rovers, man. It's like everyone's helping to make these spaceships. It's like. They're going to be like, all right, Russia has claimed to this, Spain has claimed to this, China has claimed to this much of the planet, and we're going to see what happens. You know what I mean? It's going to be the same. Why would it be any different from Earth? America owns Mars. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah, they just fucking create a government when they get there and make
stick up a big turret on the planet.
You land there, they're like, where's your passport? Oh, sorry, you need to apply for a visa.
They shoot you into space.
Yeah.
You're trespassing.
Get the fuck back.
Yeah, they stick you through that tube I was talking about. You just go back in. Oh, sorry, mate. Just kick you in.
Fuck that tube.
And you're back.
That's like a callback to episode 2.
Yeah. I just fly back. Boo, I land here. You're like, oh, what happened? You're like, they fucking didn't let me in, man. I didn't renew my Mars visa. Bullshit, man. I want to work
left
there.
It at home. That's actually an example you gave. You're like, I left my wallet at home.
Forgot my visa.
Oh,
shit.
Fuck.
No, they'd probably be like, all right, now you're going to work in the colonies. I just forgot my visa. No, you're basically a slave now. You're working in the colonies.
But
the mines.
Just going off with what we're talking about now and what we were talking about last week, with samurais and whatnot. It's so interesting to see our history and how times have changed so much. Imagine going back and telling them our life now.
They'd burn you.
But you couldn't explain.
Satan.
Like, how are you going to explain to them? You couldn't. You're like,
check out this phone.
You don't have to fight with a sword. You can literally have a controller in your hand, and with your fingers, you make this thing fly and shoot people from space. They'll be like, "What? Get the fuck out of here!"
What's space? You'd be like, that shit up there. No, those are the gods. No, bro.
So I'm sure they thought they would know what the future would be like, and just the same way that we think we know what the future holds for us.
The ignorance of your time.
We have no fucking idea.
It's the ignorance of your time. It's
no
like
idea.
Whenever you exist and your leaders and your smart people of your generation, it's like right now we think we're the forefront, but it's like, if you think of the concepts of the past, present, and future, none of those actually exist. That's just a perception we have.
Yeah, we're just in
the
there.
future's gonna happen, and we don't know. Oh, I don't even know, bro. It's too much for me to handle. My head's gonna pop. But yeah, for sure, I reckon we cannot comprehend 1,000 years from now.
No, you can't. Especially if technology keeps growing.
How long ago was the okay, so the Mongol invasion of basically most of...
That was in what, 13th century?
1250 to the 13th century. How many years ago is that? That's fucking...
a long time.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
80?
7,000 years ago?
Yeah, eight.
Around 7,500 years ago.
No, not 7.
Wait, what? Am I getting that right?
No, not 7.
100 years ago. 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Not 7,000. That doesn't work, does it? No, so that would be 700 years ago.
Yeah. 800.
To get to 2,000.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know why I said 7,000.
Yeah.
Jesus. Then we'd be in 7,000 whatever. But anyway.
How long have humans been around?
Well,
not that long.
They say the oldest. They think the oldest indigenous population is the Aboriginal people of Australia.
Yeah.
50 to 60,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a long fucking time.
I watched this video not too long ago. They say that if you were to convert Earth's lifetime into a 24-hour period, we've only been here for 3 seconds. Isn't that crazy?
That's fucked, right? That gives me anxiety.
Yeah. We literally, we have no idea what we're doing.
Well, that's the thing. Civilizations have, come and gone. Empires have risen and fallen, and like the Mongol Empire, the Roman Empire, the Egyptian civilization, the fucking people who built the pyramids. It's like, oh, they're all gone now. You know what I mean? It's like they've come and gone, and I think we are in the middle of ours. It'll be gone soon.
But I don't think ours will be gone the way...
Not completely.
Because of technology.
Yes, it'll still...
Because everything will still be here. Out in the cloud somewhere, out on the internet. I doubt internet...
Well, even if we go, there's a freaking space station out there. Yeah. There's satellites out there. That's pretty easy to find. Unless
we get hit with a massive EMP fucking attack, a bomb or something, where all the satellites just fucking die.
Yeah, and who would do that?
Then there's no internet. If there's no
internet, then there's no access to information, no way to convey information to each other.
But then we still got books. We still have written shit.
Yeah, but let's say aliens come and EMP the planet. We're fucked. Yeah. Like, there's no mobilizing defense. There's no being
they just fly up, fucking drop this thing.
Like, yeah, dude, we're at your mercy, basically.
Or they just wipe our memory and we're back to fucking Stone Age.
Imagine if that's what they do. They come every 2,000 years and wipe your memory. Wipe the human race's memory.
Yeah, and it's just a reset button. Well, maybe they just fucking keep watching us, and when they see us going a bit off the rails, they're like,
the period is 100,000 years. Yeah. So right now, all our history we know, all the history we think we know of, like the old world and the Aboriginal peoples 50 to 60,000 years ago to now, we're here, and it's like they check us at the 100,000 or the 95,000 year point from their last memory wipe, because they were like, before that they were going the wrong way. 95,000 years they check on us. Not good enough, guys. wait, click.
Please, Daddy.
Men in Black.
Yeah, that's it.
And you just like forget everything,
and then it like starts from, and then they go up to the monkeys again and give them some DMT, and then they evolve, and then
we're monkey slaves. Like, we start riding horses, the monkeys start using us as food or like transport, or they just enslave us. Like Planet of the Apes, they just enslave us.
That's it.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's interesting just to sort of talk about the history of our existence.
There's a lot to know, and it's fun to learn about, because it shows how much potential we have as a human race, and how many of us there are, and how many people make a difference throughout it's insane. Like
it's just fun. It's a fun topic to explore.
It's a great topic. Topic.
Let your imagination run a bit wild in a way. But yeah,
for sure.
It is interesting.
Started with sensory something or other, then with aliens and whatever else.
How long have we been going?
It's an hour and 3 minutes.
Yeah, boy.
So it's not bad. Hour mark's always what we look for, isn't it? Yeah, and the hour mark's good.
Yeah.
Well, might keep it short and sweet.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Might keep it short and sweet. My brain is fried right now. Yeah. I can feel my brain just going, oh shit, spinning, being like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's going to be episode 5. Yeah, that's a benchmark for us.
That's it.
Number 5, and then number 10 will be the next.
Yeah.
And then 20, then 500.
Yeah. And then by the time we get to 1,000, we probably won't have to talk. We'll send the vests to all our listeners. We just talk in our heads, and everyone just like fucking vibrate.
We just upload it to your vest, our vest to your vest.
Yeah. We'll come up with our own sort of
method to Soundcloud.
We'll design it. We'll put our own like faces on it and shit. You'll want to wear it in public, God.
Oh, well, one day. Hopefully we can get merch one day. That'd be great. No, that's so narcissistic. I hate that. I don't like that idea. We're gonna get a fan base first. This is literally just doing it for ourselves.
Yeah. This is just exactly for us. Eventually, maybe once we get to the quality that we think is acceptable, then maybe we'll start advertising it. And
we know some people listen now, but it's still a very new experience, and
I mean, it's still very new for us. I mean, I still fucking get nervous as fuck every time Monday comes around. I'm like, oh fuck, what do I just get nervous, man. And like you said, even when I look into shit, I just forget.
Yeah.
Because you get nervous.
Yeah, it's a slight bit of stage fright, I guess. Yeah. Kind of. It's like not like we're worried now, but it's like beforehand you want to start off strong and have something to talk about, and then when you don't, it feels a bit like a moment when you're on stage and you forget what you're going to say and everyone's just watching you and you're like...
You're like, I have to say something. You can't...
Or like when you're doing the blue belt grading in jiu-jitsu and you fuck up a move.
I mean,
really bad. Yeah. And then everyone's still watching and they're all like, keep going. And you're like, oh.
I've seen that a few times.
I know, and all you can do is clap the people on because you don't want to be like, fucking shit.
No, because you're going to be in there.
You know, well, I wonder if he's going to do that with us. Still.
Yeah.
Like, are we still going to do that sit-down circle grading?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Of course we are. Of course we are. There's no way he's going to change that. Why would he change that?
Because it's all separated.
It doesn't matter. By the time we get to our blue belt anyways,
it's going to be a long time away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's at least minimum 6 months away.
Yeah. If COVID doesn't,
If it does, I might just give up.
Imagine it becomes even more extreme because, like right now they check our temperature and shit. Imagine that
up your nose.
Yeah. Sorry, sir. It's part of the procedure.
Please bend over.
This giant dildo up here.
It's like, oh, Jesus Christ! I submit. Tap out.
Coronavirus evolves, and instead of living in your fucking instead of them sticking shit up your nose, it moves down and lives in your arsehole.
It's got to gape you
Did you watch that South Park episode? Sir, I'm going to have to check your asshole.
No, God. I haven't watched that shit.
I think it's
I've watched so many South Park episodes.
I think it's season 8 or something.
Yeah, I've watched so many episodes. I think I've forgotten.
Oh, that is the best.
So many
that episode is the best. They don't let people shit by themselves. The government has to wipe your ass. So they have security guards at toilets. So once you go into the toilet, once you come out, they're like, sir, I'm going to have to check your asshole. The guy's like, I'm 35 years old. I know how to wipe my ass. Sir, we're going to have to check. And then they just she wears the gloves and shit. And she's touching his asshole. He's like, yeah, you're a good boy, aren't you, sir? He's like, yeah, I'm a big boy. I did a big boy poop. That episode's fucking hilarious.
South Park's probably the greatest TV series ever.
And it's still going.
Still going.
And they don't give a fuck about anyone. They'll just upset anyone and everything.
That's the pinnacle.
They don't give a shit.
That's the pinnacle of free speech, in my opinion.
They got banned in China, and then the next episode they made was making fun of the Chinese government.
They are balls of steel.
They make fun of religion, every religion. They don't pick and choose.
Well, the last 2 seasons have just been all about making fun of America.
Yeah, Trump.
How stupid America is. Their school shootings, how dangerous it can be, and the fear mongering. The kids are playing as ninjas one day. They're like, yeah, let's play ninjas, and it's all anime. And then they're playing in this old abandoned building, and they're like, ha, jumping around. And everyone's this is right when the terrorist thing is, everyone's scared of terrorists. So these couple walk past and they look, and the kids are dancing around and they look like Al Qaeda or something. And then they start playing the music. It's and they're like, oh my God, it's Al Qaeda. And they leg it and they're like, why have you come to our country? It's they take the piss out of Americans. Just how stupid Americans can be. Speaking
of terrorists though, remember when that was the shit we were worried about? Terrorists?
Yeah, well, 9/11 was a big deal. That freaked everybody out, and rightfully so. Yeah. But what I'm saying, after that,
even recently,
it's been fear-mongering. It's anyone who wears a burqa is stay away from them. Yeah. And I'm ashamed to say it, but because of all that, sometimes when I was in the shops and I'd see someone in their, traditional clothing or something, I'd get a bit nervous. I'd be like, why the fuck are you nervous? Yeah. The dude's got and I hear the dude speak and he's just got an Aussie accent. He's like, hey man, how you doing? Yeah. I'm like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with us? There's
but the
people out there who
the
media knows how to get get the information they want, the fear they want out of the people. They know what gets people.
But okay, so but what I'm trying to say is, did all the terrorists just retire now? How come we don't hear about any of them at all?
We've done what we need, and we freaked them out.
Before, every week there'd be something new. Oh, this video of this guy, making a threat, or someone got arrested, or someone was planning on making an attack, or even in Australia, someone apparently went to overseas to a camp or something. You know what I mean? You would hear these stories all the time, but since fucking COVID-19 started,
I've given up.
You don't hear anything. There's no terrorist attack.
Recently, there's been a few things that they label as terrorist attacks, though, because I think it plays into their narrative. Like, there was a guy who was running around with a knife in Melbourne or Sydney, was it?
Oh, yeah,
Remember that?
yeah.
The guy they had to shoot.
Yeah.
Terrorist attack.
Yeah.
No, that dude was just fucking off his chops, man.
Well, most people who do shit like that, they're mental.
And then there was that other one in New Zealand, which was a little bit ago.
Christchurch.
The guy went to the mosque, shot up the place.
Yeah.
New Zealand was just like ban guns.
Yeah.
I was like,
instantly.
fuck, man, that's what you got to do. But also, it was like, that dude live streamed that shit to Facebook Live and shit.
I've seen that video.
You saw it, dude? Why?
I don't know. It just popped up, and I didn't think it was real, and I clicked on it, and
so you saw people get shot. Jesus, bro.
It was fucked, man.
There's some things we shouldn't see.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could unsee it.
100%, man. You can't see that stuff.
It's horrible. But the thing is, like, once the video started, it was just like I was in shock. I couldn't
you're
turn
just like,
off.
what is going on?
It was fucked. But like, since COVID started, you don't hear any
terrorists, aliens.
Yeah.
Who cares?
No. It's COVID now. You should be scared of COVID right now.
Yeah.
No. We'll tell you what to be scared of.
Yeah, we figured out. We don't need terrorists anymore. We don't need aliens. We got COVID to control the people.
Create something that you can't even see, and fucking make people fearful of that.
Yeah.
Because a terrorist, like you said, they made you, you got
fearful
to be paranoid
of people.
You knew what to look out for.
Now you can't.
But now you're just like, ooh, if I touch this surface, is COVID sitting on that fucking coffee table? There's someone cough on there.
If I get drunk and kiss this chick at a party, fuck, man, I might get worse than just an STD, bro.
Yeah, straight the fuck out.
Go home. What's going on, man? Oh yeah. By the way, COVID gives you a warty dick. By the way, it's like, what? You just start getting fucking warts all over your body. Toes by the way, your toes fall off, and like none of this ever happens, but it's like, because I've heard plenty of shit like that. Your organs get affected.
What, with
you can
COVID?
get brain damage now, all that. I've been hearing that. I'm like, they know how to stress you out. I'm getting stressed, man.
I know, and you feel that tension, man. You feel it, like with general public. I mean, because I'm in customer service, so I deal with people all the time.
I'm the same. Literally the other day, it surprised me just because I guess in Australia it's a bit more lax with the COVID, or maybe just here in Brisbane because we haven't had it for a bit. Yeah. But there was an American lady who'd come into the store to do some shopping, and she asked me for something, so I went downstairs, grabbed it for her, brought it to her, and she kept like stepping back every time I'd get closer to try and give her this box, and I kind of wasn't paying attention. It's fucking like 4 o'clock. I'm tired. I'm like, yeah, here's the fuck, and she's like, oh yeah, just leave it here, and I'll grab it. I'm like, oh yeah, I walked closer to like try and show her what, and she's like, no, it's alright. I just, like social distancing and all that, and I was like, so people are still,
which is good.
We forget that, I think, sometimes here. Like Brisbane hasn't had anything for a while. America, it's bad. A lot. My grandfather and his wife is American. They are very much.
Are they
invested,
in America?
No, they're very much invested into the whole American thing, and they have really taken on the fear-mongering side of it.
Yeah. And,
his wife was talking to my mum, and mum comes out of it, and I knew this was going to happen. She's talking about all this horrible stuff that COVID's going through. I'm like, that's all American propaganda. I guarantee you. That shit, no. And my grandfather loves pushing that stuff on me, and my granddad's a smart dude, but this has made me kind of have a different opinion about him. I'm like, mate. Like,
yeah, but, okay, put yourself in his position.
They've got family over
if you're at that age, and if COVID is, a lot more riskier, for people at that age, wouldn't you be more paranoid about it?
Yeah, like when they say
my grandparents are paranoid.
Yeah, like when they say things like, oh yeah, we went and saw our friends, but we like stayed 6 feet apart on the beach and talked, and I'm here going, what the fuck? Like, but then if you're that age and it's like it is a danger.
Why would you risk it? Why would you risk it?
It is a danger. And also they have family in America, so they're paying attention to America. And, you know, my granddad's going on about how America's very close to having a civil war, basically, because COVID has sparked a kind of like a bit of a rebellion with certain groups. Like you
like
and I talked about Antifa and stuff. Yeah. Like they've just used this moment to kind of move in and take over certain places. It's pretty full on. But, you know, a lot of it I hear from him, I'm like, it just sounds like propaganda to keep everyone afraid, you know?
And keep people controlled and separated.
And it does,
locked
man.
in.
I feel myself affected by it. I'm sure you feel the same. A lot of people feel the same. And a lot of my friends at the moment, they're doing stuff like, you know, these people know who I'm talking about, you know, like buying buses and vans and just leaving. Just going traveling around Australia because they're like, oh, we don't know what's coming. And I'm like, it just sounds like such fear talk. But then at the same time, it's like, yeah, actually, we don't know what's coming.
Yeah. We have no idea what's going to happen next. I mean, especially this year, you know. Only, 7-8 months into it, all the shit that happened. Who knows what else is in store for us. But, you know, we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
It's going to be interesting to see what it pans out to be, because, you know, best case scenario, COVID just goes away like something else, like any other disease we've had recently, and virus, and then worst case, it lasts for years.
Looking at the sheer you know, numbers of cases, you know, I think right now, since it started, it's almost 16 million people that caught it. Like, that's a big number, man.
Well, apparently America is the worst at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, they've become the
They're getting
worst
like
affected.
77, I think not yesterday, but the day before.
They've
had
had
like
the highest infection rate.
77,000 daily, and, you know, over 1,000 deaths averaging.
But do you think
daily.
that's also because they're running around refusing to be
of
controlled?
course,
I'm not wearing a mask, I'm protesting.
Of course.
That is, I reckon that's the fucking easiest way to do that shit. Isn't that why Melbourne kind of had their problems? They were, a lot of, like, we had our Black Lives Matter protests all around Australia, and I reckon that was a large part of it, probably.
Oh, fuck it. Imagine if
10,000 people all on top of each other, you know?
Well, imagine if they, you know, people in Melbourne are just like, yeah, whatever. Right now, it would only get worse. Even now, like, when we have these lockdowns in place, we're still getting, you know, 528 new cases.
But that's what I mean. It's
daily.
like, how many of these people are dying? Is it like 1 in a million?
No, well, I mean, I think so far...
Why is it such a big deal that we have to be kept away from doing stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure there's something behind it where it's like, look, we just can't... We're at the point where we can't let it get out of hand. No matter if you don't die or do die by it, it's like we just got to keep it under control at the moment. And that makes sense to me. But it's like, you know, Brian Callen and Brennan Sharp, their podcast they do, Fighter and the Kid, they both got it. They're fine. They don't have it anymore. And then I was wondering, can you get it twice? That's what they were wondering. They're like, can you get it twice? And apparently you can.
Yeah, apparently you can.
Oh my God. It's like, what the fuck? You know, it's like, well, then what's the point?
Because a few countries were first planning to do the herd immunity thing where they let all the young people get it.
Get out there.
So then you build an immune system for it.
You can get it twice.
But then again, apparently it can have, you know, long-lasting effects on your lungs and shit. Even once you beat it, your lung capacity might not be as great.
Well, maybe this is a time when this is a virus that never actually goes away, but this is just a period where we build up immunity to it. Might not kill you, but affects you, but we're all going to have to build up immunity over the next 20 years, 30 years for it, because it's not going to go away.
No.
How intense is that? We all thought COVID was just going to be a fucking little thing. Now it's like, fuck.
Yeah, when it first started, I thought it was just going to be another Ebola.
Oh, yeah, Trump got elected. We'll see how long that lasts. He's still here. Oh, yeah, COVID. Meh. We've had diseases before. Oh, shit, half the world shut down. What are we doing? It's like, oh, aliens too? What's going on? It's like a lot's going on at the moment.
Strange times.
Definitely strange times. But anyway, thanks,
we should
everybody.
wrap it up. Yeah,
that's good.
End of episode 5.
If you listen this far, awesome. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the podcast today, and
we appreciate it.
Definitely, if you're listening, we appreciate it a lot. And
it means a lot. For sure.
Send us an email saying we reached the end. I don't know.
Or just text, whatever.
Yeah, you're all friends.
Exactly.
All the people listening right now are just our friends anyway. So if you're not our friend, extra power to you. Appreciate you taking the time to listen to a brand new, unproven project, basically. So
no, because we get a few people listening, but I don't know. Like, I know, like, a couple of people that listen every week, but then, when you see 40-something people, I wonder who these other...
Yeah, but they're probably just, like, 5-minute listen grabs, like, just checking it out. I wonder if that counts as a listen. Because I doubt a full listen you have to do for a view, you know what I mean? But it's all G. Like, most of I think we got, like, 10 subscribers on our YouTube channel. They're all people I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even...
I think you and me are subscribed. You and me with our other channels are subscribed. So keep an eye.
We just keep making other accounts.
Subscribe.
Dude, if we make 2 accounts a day, right, and we subscribe, we can build it up to like 1,000 subscribers.
You know how many emails we'd have to make?
Just put like a@gmail.com, A1, A2, A3.
Dude, not a bad idea. I bet people do that.
Yeah, I bet people do. I know people actually buy subscribers and shit.
I actually haven't found a way to look at our subscribers. Like, I actually can't look at the people who are subscribed to us.
Yeah,
I haven't figured it out yet.
I haven't figured that out either.
I don't know how to do that.
But we'll figure it out. Anyways.
No, we won't. We don't care. Just keep enjoying, guys, because we're enjoying it. So thank you very much. We hope to catch you on the next episode.
See you later.